It all began in 2002, about 17 years ago, when I started feeling fatigued. I had recurrent infections, bone pain, and a general feeling of malaise. And after several visits to various doctors, they diagnosed me with multiple myeloma, a disease I'd never heard of before. I was only 48, and they told me I only had 3 to 5 years to live, and there was no cure. My reaction was one of shock. I was shocked that I was diagnosed with this disease I'd never heard of at the prime of my career. So being an inquisitive person, I sought out information. I was obviously curious about what treatment I'd be receiving. And there was basically one option for me. And I was rather shocked again to discover that the drugs that were being used were old drugs from the 1950s, the old chemotherapy drugs. So I underwent a stem cell transplant in 2013, and that kept me going for another 2.5 years. Looking for information, I discovered that there was no Canadian organization that was specifically devoted to myeloma. So 2 years after my diagnosis, I co-founded Myeloma Canada to support and educate patients and caregivers. Myeloma Canada was founded as a grassroots, patient-driven and patient-focused organization. So with Myeloma Canada Research Network, we're able to effectively complement each other and are able to optimize what we can deliver to our patients across Canada. I'm often asked why patients should participate in clinical trials. Obviously, one of the reasons is without patients participating in clinical trials, the science would never be advanced. And there are benefits in participating in clinical trials. You're generally watched more closely. You're helping accelerate access to new life-saving drugs. You're helping investigators find better treatment options for patients. Clinical trials have been very important, not only to me, but to all myeloma patients, not only in Canada, but around the world, because it's through patient participation in clinical trials that we advance the science and develop new treatments that keep us living longer. What's really exciting today is, and the average life expectancy has basically doubled from 3 to 5 years to 7 to 10 years, and continues to improve as new drugs are brought to market. If it wasn't for the knowledge that was gained from clinical trials over the years, I likely would not be here today. So it's very, very important that science keeps ahead of the disease. Because as a myeloma patient, I understand that the longer I live with this disease, I'm going to become refractory to many, many drugs that are available. So I'll need new treatment options to keep me going.